Welcome to our latest video, 10 facts about climate change that everyone should know. You and I are part of this incredible planet, but it's undergoing some dramatic changes that affect us all. So let's take a deep dive into the 10 most essential facts about climate change, unpack the science behind the headlines, and better understand why this global phenomenon is something we should all be engaged with. Let's get started. 1. The past 8 years have been the hottest on record. In recent history, the Earth has been experiencing unprecedented heat levels. It hasn't just been hotter, it's been record-breakingly hot. For 8 consecutive years, global temperatures have surpassed historical records, largely driven by human activities such as burning fossil fuels and deforestation. These persistent high temperatures have resulted in various environmental challenges, including more frequent and severe heat waves, droughts, and wildfires, all impacting millions of lives around the world. One can liken this constant rise in heat to a roller coaster that only goes up, a frightening prospect with no end in sight. What distinguishes this phenomenon is its consistency over several years, which clearly points to a climate in crisis. People worldwide are feeling the heat both literally and metaphorically as governments scramble to mitigate these critical changes. 2. Arctic Sea. Ice has declined by 75% in the last 50 years. Imagine an ice cube in a glass of water on a sunny day. Sooner or later, it's going to melt. This is precisely what has been happening in the Arctic, only the implications are far more serious. Over the last half-century, the Arctic has lost an astounding 75% of its sea ice. This rapid decline disrupts local ecosystems, endangers species, and contributes to global sea level rise, impacting coastal populations. As the ice recedes, species like polar bears find their habitat dwindling, while indigenous communities struggle with altering landscapes and food sources. This isn't just a regional concern. The melting ice has global repercussions, impacting weather systems and ocean currents worldwide. This scenario is a stark reminder of how interconnected our planet truly is, and how changes in one region can ripple across the globe. 3. Climate change could force over 200 million people to migrate by 2050. Consider your home suddenly becoming uninhabitable due to rising water levels or extreme weather. This is the grim reality facing millions of people. Climate change is already displacing communities, and it is projected that by 2050, over 200 million people could be forced to migrate. Factors such as rising sea levels, prolonged droughts, and violent storms are often to blame for this mass exodus. These climate migrants face significant challenges as they seek new homes, from legal hurdles to adjusting to entirely new environments. This large-scale migration could spur geopolitical tensions and overwhelm existing infrastructure in host regions. The world might face a profound humanitarian crisis unless global efforts are intensified to curtail climate impacts and support affected populations. 4. The Amazon rainforest is now emitting more carbon than it absorbs. Once known as the lungs of the Earth, the Amazon rainforest now finds itself in peril. Deforestation and wildfires have drastically altered its ability to absorb carbon dioxide. Alarmingly, recent studies have shown that parts of the Amazon are emitting more carbon than they absorb, which turns this critical carbon sink into a carbon source. This change accelerates global warming and undermines efforts to mitigate climate change. The rainforest hosts an incredibly diverse range of flora and fauna. However, its destruction poses a dangerous threat to these species as much as to our larger climatic systems. The situation in the Amazon serves as a wake call for humanity to take urgent actions towards preserving nature's bountiful resources and its capacity to stabilize our climate. 5. Oceans absorb over 90% of the excess heat from global warming. Picture the oceans as Earth's heat sponges. absorbing a whopping 90% of the excess heat generated by global warming. On the surface, it might seem beneficial, but in reality, this is wreaking havoc beneath the waves. Rising sea temperatures affect marine life, causing coral bleaching and forcing species to migrate to cooler waters, thus upsetting delicate ecosystems. This thermal absorption also contributes to the acceleration of ice melt and rising sea levels, posing threats to coastal cities and island nations. Like a pressure cooker with a broken release valve, the world's oceans are heating up and could reach dangerous boiling points without intervention. This unsettling reality begs the question: how long can our oceans continue to bear the brunt before ecological systems collapse? 6. Renewable energy could prevent 4 million deaths. Annually, transitioning to renewable energy sources isn't just good for the planet. It's also a matter of life and death. Studies indicate that converting to clean energy could prevent up to 4 million deaths each year by reducing air pollution. Fossil fuel emissions result in harmful air particles that lead to respiratory diseases and cardiovascular conditions, affecting millions worldwide. By embracing technologies like wind, solar, and hydropower, we can significantly diminish air pollution, promoting healthier living environments and reducing mortality rates. Visualize millions of lives saved each year simply by switching the source of our energy. With the costs of renewable energy falling, the question is no longer whether we should transition, but rather how quickly can we make it happen. 7. Coral reefs could vanish by 2100 without action. Coral reefs, often described as the rainforests of the sea, are facing existential threats as our oceans continue to warm. Without meaningful action, these vibrant ecosystems could disappear by 2100 due to such stresses as ocean acidification and rising temperatures. Coral reefs support a quarter of all marine life, providing habitats and food for countless species, including those critical to human food sources. Their demise would not only affect marine biodiversity, but also human livelihoods, particularly in coastal communities reliant on fishing and tourism. Like losing a treasure trove of biological wealth, the extinction of coral reefs could lock away untold potential forever. Protecting these underwater marvels is not just an environmental issue, but a call to preserve incredible ecosystems integral to life both above and below water. 8. Meat and dairy production account for 14.5% of global emissions. The journey from farm to plate carries a hefty carbon price tag. Meat and dairy production is responsible for around 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions. This revelation highlights a simple yet powerful truth: what we eat has a significant impact on the environment. Shifting toward plant-based diets presents a straightforward way to drastically lower one's carbon footprint. Each meal choice becomes a vote for the planet's health, an easy yet effective strategy for individuals to combat climate change daily. By reducing meat and dairy consumption, we can help mitigate climate change while also improving personal health. A win-win scenario. This makes food not just sustenance, but also a tool for global transformation. 9. A single tree can absorb up to 48 pounds of carbon dioxide. Annually, trees have long been admired for their beauty and tranquility, but they are also powerful warriors against climate change. Remarkably, a single tree can absorb up to 48 pounds of carbon dioxide every year, filtering and replenishing our precious air supply. Reforestation projects capitalize on this natural process to help offset carbon emissions effectively. Picture a world where every household plants and nurtures a tree in their backyard. The combined effect could be transformative. This simple act reminds us of nature's capacity for nurturing and renewal. Through collective effort, tiny steps like planting trees could pave the way for monumental change in the fight against global warming. 10. The Paris Agreement aims to limit warming to 1.5 degrees. The global effort to combat climate change took a historic leap forward with the signing of the Paris Agreement. The pivotal goal is to restrict the rise in global temperature to below 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels. This target is crucial for minimizing the dire impacts associated with extreme temperature changes. Achieving this target necessitates international cooperation, policy shifts, and an unwavering commitment from every country. It's akin to running a massive relay race where each nation carries forward the baton of responsibility towards sustainable development. The path may be challenging, but the stakes, maintaining a livable planet, could not be higher. Now more than ever, the world needs to rally together to turn this mission into a reality.